Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fast Break Points, the show where we talk about random topics for 10, 12 minutes max. Today, or tonight, I have my sister over here, Fatima Lui from Saturday Fly. What's up, Fatima?
Hi Cam, how's it going?
Just going great, just great, thanks. Good, good, pretty good. So, so we're here today because you're a fan of that Roald Dahl book, The Witches, which,
I am.
I remember when I was at primary school. It's a pretty famous book, back in the days, and it turned into
Yeah,
a movie. I forgot what
yeah,
year it was, but it was old school movie starring Angelica Houston
yeah,
as the
yeah,
witch, and then the current then there was a remake that came out last year with Anne Hathaway, directed by
yeah.
one of my favorite directors, Robert Zemeckis. So he did Back to the Future or Back to the Future movies.
Mm,
So
yeah.
so Timo, why do you like this story, The Witches?
You know what? I think, as a kid, because I would have been like 6 or 7, or probably 8 years old when I started reading these books. And it wasn't just witches that I liked. I also liked Matilda. And then so because I liked how I like out of it was just so far-fetched from reality. I mean, obviously, like just in hindsight, looking back on, when I was a kid, like I think that's what I liked about it. And I'm the type of person that just likes to fantasize and just, drift off into La La Land. And I think that these books kind of was that for me, witches. And I think, well, and also it was just an attractive book. Like it was like a short story almost. Like it wasn't a thick book. It had illustrations in it, and it was interesting, and I still enjoy it now. I like the movie more than I like the book, to be honest.
Oh, okay,
The
yeah,
original movie.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember the book when I was back in primary school, and Roald Dahl.
yeah,
He's famous for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? And that was my favorite,
yeah. And BFG.
the
Yeah, yeah,
BFG. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. I remember. I know when the book came out, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding the story. So, so a few libraries in the UK they actually banned that book when it came out because it was
Yeah,
like
I never knew that.
yeah, yeah. So they thought it was like it was talking about violence to women and stuff like that. But that was why it got banned. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
but the latest movie that came out last year with Anne Hathaway that had some controversy as well, and
yeah.
that was about limbless people complaining about
That's fine.
being interpreted as monsters or
Yeah,
witches. Yeah. So
yeah.
so what was your point of view on that?
I think because I went and watched the movie by myself because that's how much of a fan I was of the movie, and it was like almost like nostalgic for me. So I went and saw the movie, and then I honestly thought I was the only one that thought of it that way. Back in my social work days, one of my like families that I used to work with, the young girl, she was born with a no hand, so she had this disability, and like being with her and her family during the teasing and all of that, it kind of gave me an insight of what that might look like or what that might, how that might feel to have that type of deformity. And so when I saw that, I just thought it was really insensitive. I thought that it was just, it just was uninformed. I don't think it was their intention. I think if they were informed, maybe it would have been different.
Mm.
But I just think that it was just too uninformed, too insensitive. And I'm glad that they dealt with it in the way that they did by issuing out an apology. And I'm also glad that they came out with that I'm Not a Witch campaign, because I think if these big Hollywood majors don't know, then imagine how the world doesn't know about it. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, it's funny because I didn't know about it until I looked it up. But then I was looking at the other side
Yeah.
of the argument. Like I heard the argument that said, this witch had power, and she was the like high witch of all the
Yeah.
witches, and
Grand
she
High
happened to
Witch.
have 3 fingers.
Mm,
So that
yeah.
was like you could say like that empowered people with 3 fingers, that sort of thing. But
Yeah, well, that's a good one. That's a good point. But the thing is that that's not the initial reaction.
uh,
Like we had to think really hard, and we had to think like you actually had to put some effort into that. But from the get go, when you look at that, and then you look at your family member or your friend or someone that you know that doesn't have a limb, you're going to be like, wow, they're making it out like my child or my brother or my friend or my loved one is a
mm,
witch, is ugly, is evil, is that. So, I understand that argument. There's always two sides to an argument, but I'm like, just from the get-go, these kids that are watching, like, imagine if a group of girls are watching and one of them just didn't have a limb or had that disability, imagine how she would feel. So,
mm,
yeah, that was
mm.
my perspective on it.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on it?
Well, I was confused because Anne Hathaway was the one that apologized, and I wasn't sure
Yeah,
why she was
it should have been
apologizing
the creative team. Yeah,
because yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, she was just acting the part.
actress.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then I was confused too because they decided to have her characters have 3 fingers, but if you look at the original book,
Mm,
the illustration on the original book, there's 5 fingers on there.
pause. Yeah, yeah, it's pause. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um, I just didn't like. I felt like she was trying a little bit too hard in her role.
mm,
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, I just think that I don't know, but I think she was trying a little bit too hard to be evil, too hard to play that character when it's like I think there would have been someone else that would have played that role a lot better, but that's just me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so you said the original movie was your favorite.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. How old were you when you
Yeah.
watched that?
Can I ask you something?
Oh yeah.
I was probably like, I was probably like 8 years old when I first watched
Oh
it.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was about eight years old, and we taped it. And I'm usually scared of mice and rats, but for that movie, I can look at the mice. It's fine. Um, but can I ask you something? So when you watch movies, I don't know if you've seen Witches or not, but just let's think of any movie. Are you a huge fan of like remakes, or am I the only one that's a remake hater?
Oh, okay. Nah, that's a cool question. I'm actually I'm not actually a fan because I think oh it's it's like a okay. When I see a remake come out, I reckon they've got no ideas. You know, I think
Yeah,
Hollywood has no
yeah,
ideas, so they got to
yeah,
remake in the past something good. But sometimes it doesn't turn out that way.
yeah,
You know, see, I
yeah,
understand. I
yeah,
understand if they remade like a story from the '60s or '50s or
mm,
'60s and remade it now
yeah,
to these modern times. But I don't
yeah,
understand them remaking something that's not too far. You know, there's the gap in between
yeah.
is not too far. Yeah, because all that
Yeah.
tells me is that
I mean,
Hollywood's running out of ideas. Mm.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how come you're not a fan of remakes?
Oh, I mean, I'm a fan of the Mulan remake, but I just feel like I don't know. Maybe my brain is just trained to only like see the movie from the first time that it was made, like the original film. Do you know? I don't know if I'm making sense, but um, yeah, maybe because if I like a film, for example, Witches, I really like that film.
Mm,
I was expecting it to be like the remake to be like up here,
mm,
and that's just my opinion.
yeah.
But
Do you reckon the special
yeah,
effects were
because
the
it's a lot
too
more
much special
modern.
effects? Were the special effects good
Yeah,
or
yeah,
no? Okay.
too much, too much. And the dress, and the thing is, if you watch the movie, and anyone who's watching this, who's also a fan of the original, I think that for the Grand High Witch, the dress was like such an accessory. It just kind of made a statement. So I don't know if you've seen the original, like when she's like walking up to the stage and then she drops her dress and it goes out.
Mm,
And then that kind of made it was like, oh wow, she's the Grand High Witch is here.
yeah.
But for when Anne Hathaway did it, I was expecting like an extravagant dress drop, like just to drop the dress. So
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like they could have done better on that part.
Her face was scary, eh? With the big Joker smile
Yeah.
and her teeth.
Yeah, and
That
also
was
the
freaky. Eh?
666. She keeps saying, I
Oh,
shouldn't keep saying that, but like the numbers,
yeah, yeah,
evil numbers 3 times, like
yeah.
she keeps saying it. She's in room 666 and I'm like, oh my God, like there's kids here.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing, eh? Because
Yeah.
it sort of tells you that Hollywood thinks people are ready for those sort of you know, especially young kids.
Especially for kids.
Are they ready
Yeah.
for six
It's
six
scary.
six, the Omen and all that?
I don't know, but it's exactly, but it's not so. I mean, I know not everyone believes in that. Like some kids are just not religious. That's okay, but it's scary.
Mm,
Like it's just like demonic scary. I don't know, because then they'll start looking it up. It's just yeah, no.
yeah, okay, cool.
I think they dropped the ball a lot in the remake.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Fatima's perspective on the movie Witches. Where's it now? Is it out
Yeah.
on DVD or it's on
No, it's still
streaming?
in the movies.
Still in the
So
movies?
I'm going to see it on Saturday again with my mate. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Okay.
I think you should watch it too. That'll be cool.
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
All right, you
Okay.
guys. That's
No,
Fatima
we're
Lui
good.
from Saturday Fly. Catch her podcast on
Cool.
Spotify. We're out. Bye.
Thank you.